Well, good afternoon and welcome back to the Little French Homestead. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Sherry. Today I'm going to be doing a little year in review, let you know what was going on our homestead this past year, any trials, tribulations, or anything like that, and any updates for family and whatnot. I am still having a little bit of my tea. I didn't quite finish it. I was doing some stuff and I was like, oh, I need to finish this off. So before we get into this, I really just want to say so much that, you know, this channel that I started a few years back, I wasn't sure really what was going to happen. I was having no hopes or big expectations or anything like that. Mainly, I did this to really try to get over my fear of being on TV and stuff. I'm not a fan of pictures being videos of me or anything like that. And I have seen, obviously, many YouTubes, and I was like, you know what, this is something that I could do. I do love to cook. It's been a little while since I really enjoyed cooking, and I'll explain a little bit on that. But I was one of those ones who, as a young mom, never was really a fan of cooking. And as the years progressed and as I got older, I really did enjoy the love of cooking, and now I absolutely love it. So I also too like to show what's going on with this. Hold on one second. Just trying to have a little Christmas ambiance, even though Christmas is over and we've taken everything all down. I still want it a little bit in the background. I've been told sometimes I'm a humbug when it comes to Christmas. But I'm just one of those ones where I was a late bloomer at cooking. So with all of that knowledge, as a 30-year-old person who's just really starting to come into her own at cooking, I was like, you know what, at 45, 50, I was really acquiring the skills a lot better. And then 2020 hit, and I thought about doing a channel at that time, and I didn't quite do one, and I waited a little bit, and so then I decided, let me go ahead and do a channel. And it took me a long time. If you see a lot of my videos at first, they're focusing on the garden, focusing outside on our chickens and stuff, and I really just had a hard time really bringing it in to show you what I cook and getting on the actual camera. And so I had to swallow my pride, and I had to swallow a lot to sit there and say, okay, this is what I need to do to put myself out there. And I really wanted to show everybody, there's so many different ways to cook and everything. So I started my channel, and I started bringing everything inside, showing me cooking. And the channel last year, at the end of the year, I had 97 subscribers, which still to me was phenomenal. I was super impressed that I even had that many. I am ending this year, as of today, it is the 29th, at 752. And I'm completely overwhelmed by the joy and the response that all of you have given me and shown me over this time frame. I am super, super excited to see where my channel is going to go in the next year or two. I don't have any plans on slowing down at this time frame. So I'm just humble. I'm flabbergastic at words. So I just want to say thank you for those who continue to watch me and show me my support. It does not go unappreciated at all. So with that, I have a lot of new content and a lot of great ideas that I'm gonna go ahead and put in play this year. One of the first big things is the pantry challenge. Oh, excuse me, the pantry challenge. Now, for those of you who don't know who the pantry challenge is, now I never did it last year or anything like that, is from Three Rivers Homestead. Jessica, she go ahead and does the challenge. See how long you can actually do the challenge for, first of all, but it's using everything you have in your home. So everything in the freezer, the refrigerators, your pantry, your back stock, anything that you've canned or maybe dehydrated, preserved, anything that you have done to use as much as you can without going to the store to purchase anything. Now, everybody's take on this is a little bit different. Some people still put aside maybe like 20 bucks for like fresh produce and fresh vegetables. You know, occasionally that milk or creamer or something that you need for like coffees and stuff. But it's really trying to eat everything that you have in your house. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Now, I have a menu right here. Now, I am gonna do a video on this and show you exactly what we're gonna be going through. Once, I think I wanna start it on Sunday. I'm gonna take you through what I'm doing week by week. I might try to do it like in a constellation video and put it out the following week. I already have a previous video, I've already done a video that's set to come out on the 1st. That goes a little bit more of the pantry challenge, the explanation at all. But I'm gonna do a little bit more in-depth, show you what you're showing what I'm using, making how I made my menu and stuff like that, and I'll be putting that out. But bringing it back to the year in review. So many of you are new to my channel, obviously over this past year. I don't know if a lot of you know this, but I am a mom of 4. I have an oldest daughter who is 34. She lives in Cocoa Beach with her boyfriend. I have a 22-year-old son who still currently lives with us, and twin 14-year-old girls who also still, obviously for purposes, they still live with us as well. And I've been married for almost 15 years to my husband, and we've had quite an exciting life so far. We met in New Hampshire, fell in love, got married. He is born and raised in the Bahamas. I was born and raised in New England, New Hampshire to be more specific. I used to vacation a lot in Florida. And one year, parents decided to go to the Florida Keys for a visit, fell in love. The following year, they sold everything after I graduated high school and moved down. A year later, I followed as my daughter and her father and I split up. So I became a single mom. Was down there for 15 years, met my son's father, had him. Moved back to New Hampshire, where then I met my current husband. I was only married once. And then had twins. We vacationed in Florida, 2018. We all fell in love with, because we went to Orlando. We fell in love with the idea again of the snow, of not having to deal with it or anything. So the following year, we sold the house and moved down to where we currently live in Marion County, Florida, which is right outside Ocala. We have been living, we bought this house, it'll be 6 years this coming May. Yeah, it's a nice, cute little 1 acre homestead on a corner lot. It's 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, and you may be hearing some movements of some animals. We currently now have 5 cats. We have Julia, who is going to be 18 in May. We have Cinnamon, who just turned 5. We have Tiger, who is a tabby cat who turned or will be turning 5 in April. Sapphire this coming year will turn 4 in July. And a wonderful new addition, Jinx, she's just 3 months old. So they are all being introduced to each other. Jinx is a handful right now. She has a lot of pent-up energy, and she is giving the other cats a run for their money, which is absolutely hilarious. So with all that, oh, and then the 12 chickens. We have 12 chickens in our yard. I do have a very small garden. I play with it back and forth. My father is retired. Both my parents obviously retired. They had moved down in 2020. They sold their stuff. They were missing us and the grandkids. So they sold everything and moved down. They're like 5 minutes from my house, and they absolutely love it down here. My father is a genius when it comes to gardening. He's always had a garden, far as I know. And so he does a lot of our garden prep stuff for me. I have a very black thumb. I am really trying to take care of that. He gets all the starters going and everything, and I bring them all here and we water them. We've had them on timers. We've had soil maintenance and stuff, and somehow they still don't always produce as well as he does at his house. So I don't know what goes on half the time, but right now he's been giving us a lot of lettuce. Bok choy gave us some broccoli recently, and it is devoured by our family. So thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad. So I'm hoping to still try to get the garden a little bit better and situated on my side. So then I can go ahead, and when he gives me those starts, I got a little bit better off at going and getting what we want, because, I would eventually like to be able to can some of the stuff that we grow. Now, I will never be able to grow, at least, and it's not because of my acre, it's the way the whole situation is set all up. The front half of my yard is covered with like 40, 50 trees, excuse me, and then the back half of the garden, I got a whole bunch of trees and then a small little garden. So if I was to go ahead and do a bigger garden, I have to chop down a whole bunch of trees, and we just don't have that kind of money or capability to go ahead and do that, because there's a lot of trees back there. I do have some videos where you can go take a look at the yard and see. I'll try to see if I can remember to link down below. So I mean, the garden is still good size, but it would never produce enough food for 5 people for a full year. And that's okay. As long as we can get some fresh stuff every once in a while, I am totally happy on that. Sorry, I keep looking at the cats because they're all kind of like hoarding around the Jinx, the baby. But with that all said and done, I will probably go to like a farmer's market or something like that, maybe buy in bulk from them, so then I can go ahead and bring it home and can it. Like a lot of like spaghetti stuffs and salsas, do some, beef stews, and stuff. I just want to expand my horizon and forte with canning. I've pretty much stuck with like some beans and some broths, but I want to be able to do some more, and I'm hoping this year I will be able to. I have an electric pressure canner, and then I have an actual regular pressure canner, and I have not touched that one yet, so I want to be able to open that up, push myself a little forward, and use that. So continuing going with everything that's going on. I have the twins have braces, so I've been taken up in them to their orthodontist appointments. It's about an hour away up there in Gainesville. I have to go like every 6 weeks. Both of them had really bad protruding front teeth that were coming out. So while they were in the process of getting their braces, they had to get 4 molars removed. So then as the teeth started straightening and the braces started working, their teeth would get fully straightened and aligned, and it's doing a phenomenal job. We were told we might end on early, so if that's the case, that's awesome. You know, we're hoping that it does that, but as it sits right now, the braces are supposed to be 2 years and then lifelong retainer. And then we'll go from there on how often they may have to go back or to see if anything is different. All right. Also, too, we are looking to hear from my daughter's ENT. So Abigail, she's had a lot of hearing issues over the last 7-8 years. She had actually got tubes put in her ears several times, several surgeries on that. The last surgery she got before we moved to Florida, she had got tubes in her ears, tonsils and adenoids removed, and that still never cleared up anything. So when we had moved down here, it was in July, so we moved down, we got them situated with school and doctors and stuff, and the teachers were still noticing that her hearing. Now, I explained to the teachers, you know, what was going on, so they were already well aware. And I was just letting them know, hey, you know, if she can't hear you, bring her closer, let me know, you know, so that way we can get, you know, doctors in on it. And finally, they were like, she's not listening to us. So we went to get a referral from her doctor up to a ENT in Gainesville, and with that ENT, they diagnosed her with cholesteatoma, which means that the middle ear bones have completely deteriorated. In other words, they were trying to remove all the cysts that she kept getting behind the ears, and by removing the cyst, and once they stopped growing the cyst, they put in like these little itty tiny titanium rods in the ear to try to make sure like the charge, the electrons or something to that. I know it's not like electrons, but to get the hearing waves to go so she could hear. One ear got infected and inflamed, so they had to take it out, and the other ear just rejected it completely. So she has been using what's called the Collier headband. It has like this little sound that you put right here behind the ear. It can be controlled like by Bluetooth and stuff. And so she was using that. Then they changed it to do something else. Or maybe, oh no, I'm sorry. So she had the Collier headband, then they went and did the titanium rods, and then they fell out. She had a lot of bleeding and a lot of leakage in the ears, so they really couldn't do anything till it stopped. We did go back up just recently, and they did do another full-on hearing test, so they could show the insurance company and stuff that, you know, yes, this child really needs, you know, implants. So now what they're going to do is put a magnetic behind her ears, a magnet. They're going to shave down her ear and then put 2 magnets behind her ears, obviously separate surgeries. and then they're going to put like the cochlear connection onto that. And so then she is going to go ahead and have surgery again. It'll be her 17th and 18th surgery her whole life, and I am just beyond words that this girl could keep doing that. So she has some problems, and we have been very patient with everybody. Not, I mean, obviously her, but I mean, very patient with everybody on trying to get us all on the same page so we could go ahead and get that taken care of. So we should hear hopefully back by the end of, well, we're at the end of December now. They haven't called. Probably maybe by the beginning of the year, we should get this paperwork back from the insurance company saying that yes, you know, she can qualify for the surgery, and then they'll book the surgery for her. All right, and then moving on from that, in June, we had gone to go see my oldest daughter in Cocoa Beach. Like I said, she lives over on that side. We are a huge family that love the Wizard of Oz. My daughter Abby especially dressed up as Glinda the Good Witch several times for Halloween. And obviously I dressed up as the Wicked Witch because that's what they want me dressed as. So we went over there. They have a beautiful museum. So we went that. I'll link that video down below. Lots of memorabilia. They have the Dorothy, the red slippers there, and some of her outfits, and a lot of different things. It's really cool to go see. We enjoyed that. Then we spent a couple of days with my daughter and her boyfriend, had some wonderful dinners and stuff. And then the last leg of our trip, we went from Cocoa Beach all the way to Tampa, and we saw one of my favorite bands. Now, my son and I has gone to go see a concert together before, but the rest of the family, they've never seen a, well, my oldest, the twins have never seen a concert before, but my husband previously has seen a few concerts, you know, before we got together growing up. So we went to go see Metallica. They did a phenomenal show as always. That's my third time seeing them. I absolutely love them. My girls fell in love with the whole concert idea. Now they've all heard of the band and stuff, but that was their first time concert. They absolutely loved it. They put on a great show. And when they come around again, my girls are like, yeah, we're gonna go again. I was like, cool. And after that, we did try to put our house up for sale. We started taking everything all down, all the pictures and everything. We boxed them all up, brought them to my mom's. You know, you're trying to get all of the stuff that's yours out of here. So when people come over, they can see what, you know, their furniture and stuff look like. And we had a lot of looks, believe it or not. We had a few offers. But by the time that my husband and I, saw a bunch of houses that we liked within our budget, they were slowly going off the market by the time we were getting ready to, you know, probably close on our house. And I don't want to say thankfully, but thankfully, the two offers actually fell through on their end. And by the time that we were going to continue to keep going, all the other houses that we were looking at were really way out of our budget. We were still looking for an acre. It was going to be 3 bedrooms instead of 4 bedrooms. But we were looking at 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. It's still on an acre. And by the time that we were looking at stuff like that, I mean, they were looking at over $350,000 for a house. And we're like, no. I mean, we were looking between $200,000 to $250,000, and that was perfect. And all of those ones that we were looking at were no longer available. So we decided to not put our house back on the market. We took the listing off and we went over to my mom's, picked everything all up that we had and put it all back up. We decided that now we're not going to do anything until at least the kids graduate high school. Then we will go ahead and talk about, well, we will downsize, but we'll talk about what we're going to go do. We're tossing ideas between maybe, you know, doing RV living, because we're in Florida, so there's so many areas where we could camp and be in one spot for years if we wanted to, or we can just travel around the state. I would not travel around the US, just travel around the state, you know, or maybe still just set up a small little house, you know, a very small house somewhere. But we're still debating that. You know, we have to take life, you know, one day at a time, even though I am one of those ones that still like to look in the future and plan out. I still have to try to do one day at a time. And then the last little bit of information is my husband did have like a scar on his face for a while. And we were a little bit concerned on it. I told him to go to the dermatologist, and she found out that it was skin cancer, but it was very easily taken care of and removed over like a 2-3 week time frame. They had gone in, cut it out, made sure that there was no more cancer cells in there, and then sewn his cheek up, and it's recovering quite well. This was back in like October, and he is doing very well on the recovery on that. Other than that, we had an amazing Christmas as a family. We had an amazing, we had amazing Thanksgiving too. And then Christmas as a family. New Year's, we have just a couple of the girls' friends coming over. We're just gonna do some s'mores and watch the ball drop here from the house. We are supposed to be in the 30s those next couple of nights. So we'll see how much of the heat we actually have to put on in the house. Other than that, we are going into 2026 with a whole new outlook and a whole bunch of possibilities and a lot of blessings. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching me. I really do appreciate it. There's not a day or a moment go by that I don't relish the thought and the thanks that you guys do by watching my channels. I really do appreciate it. If you have any suggestions on some videos, go ahead and link them down. Every once in a while, I'll do like a post of, you know, like a poll to see what you guys want to watch and stuff. When I don't really get a lot of response back or something, I tend not to do it. I love to see, you know, a lot more, you know, interaction, but, you know, I'm humble at just you guys watching the videos, okay? But if you would like to see something in particular, throw down in the comments. I do usually read them. Sometimes I will acknowledge or put a little heart by it. But other than that, I just really do appreciate you watching me. And I will post a couple of videos here and here. I'll put some of those other ones down in the link. And until my next upload, thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And as always, keep on cooking. Bye.